Hi guys, and welcome again to this channel. This is 2S254 and I'm your host Ezekiel Momo. So we've been talking a lot about Bodabodas. If you haven't watched my previous videos, you can go back to my previous videos and watch whatever I've been talking about the Bodaboda industry and everything at large. So the last video I said Bodaboda industry is a movement. It's a very big movement that's actually very chaotic and very chaotic. And last week, if you can do a recap, we said the Boni Halwale pinned a bill, to take he took a bill to the parliamentarians, to the Senate, to go and nab Bodaboda riders, but it was received with a bit not very well. It was not received well, and Bodabodas were trying to do demos. They were trying to do demos. They wanted to do a demo, but fortunately, he was able to withdraw the bill, and everything just went quiet. And for those who don't know what Bodaboda industry is a motorbike that is used to ferry passengers. So I will define a little bit about the Bodaboda industry, challenges and economic impact, and how it works. So another thing. So Bodaboda industry is a business, is a transportation business of having a motorbike, normal motorbike. That's your personal motorbike. It's just normal. We don't call that Bodaboda. That we call bike. Now Bodaboda is the service of now delivering, trying to carry people from one place to another place using the motorbike. Now that becomes now Bodaboda. You understand? The main objective is to earn money, for a living. You're doing it for a living. Living in case that you're carrying people from one place to another daily. Now that become Bodaboda, and that industry involves around motorcycles, taxis, or Bodaboda that are common in East Africa. They're actually common only in East Africa, but most particularly in Kenya, Uganda, and Rwanda. I've not seen Burundi, but I think they are there in Burundi, but not so many. The industry is not that there is no in those countries, si kubwa sana kama hapa Kenya na Uganda na Tanzania, Rwanda. In Kenya, Bodabodas are vital as part. They are very vital part of the transportation system, especially because around Nairobi, you find that there's a lot of traffic jam everywhere, especially in Kilimani, around the Nairobi and its metropolitan areas. There is a lot of traffic every single day, and you find that when you have a vehicle, you need to maybe wake up a little bit earlier. Maybe if you're working around the CBD, the central business district. If you're working around the CBD, you need to wake up at least 1 hour, 2 hours earlier, and maybe you're driving just for 2 to 3 kilometers or less than 10 kilometers, but you find that you can get stuck on traffic for a very long time. You can get stuck for almost 1 hour, and the place you're going is just 10 minutes away. So you find that Bodaboda industry, they come very handy at that particular time, because they can navigate through the traffic jam very easily, and they can take you to work very easy. But also, don't forget, Bodabodas are we've said is that they're mostly common in East Africa, because in other parts of the world, I don't think they use Bodaboda. They use motorcycle maybe for deliveries or for personal use. And Bodaboda actually is an East African language. You can find people called is Bodaboda. That's the common language. Then there is Boda. There are some people call it Boda. Then there is the Kenyan slang. It's called Nduthi. If you want to know something, there's something, it's in Kenya. It's called Nduthi. and we call it Nduthi gang, Nduthi whatever, and mostly it's filled up with mostly in Kenya it has about 1.3 million people who use it daily on a daily use for Bodaboda. This is an exception of those who use motorbikes and other for motorbikes for to doing other things. But on Bodaboda alone, it carries 1.3 million users, and it's a big industry for country for any other thing movement that has a lot of people like 1 point something. That's a movement, and that has created employment in Kenya. So we find that it was first introduced in Kenya. It was there in Kenya, but it was used for different purposes. That was before Mwai Kibaki. That's our third president. Before our third president, Mwai Kibaki, President Mwai Kibaki was the late Mwai Kibaki was when he was the president. But before that, there was no there were motorbikes, but no bodabodas. But when he came and he made it for China or India guys to bring their motorbikes at subsidized. Aish, kizungu bana. Yaani ulileta na pesa kidogo yani. So and they also wakakubalia loan, wachukua wanaweza chukua na loan. Now that made now the industry bloom, and it was like pop, and everywhere it was everybody was buying a motorbike. It was a cheap means of transport to go everywhere you wanted, to go to work, to go to school, to do everything. It was very nice. But also it provides also the Bodaboda guys also, they are providing essential services to millions of Kenya by delivering. So you see, most of it they carry delivering. You can be delivered. You can now, with the introduction of Uber, Bolt, and Faras, and all these other apps, online apps like Uber, Bolt, and everything. Now it made Bodaboda easier. It was a good market for this industry, and now everyone flooded, the Bodaboda guys flooded in there so that they can escape the traffic jam. And during that time, it was very chaotic because the guys during that time, they didn't, the people who were driving during that time, the first time when it was introduced, there were a lot of accidents, a lot of accidents. But because they were industry, the challenges that come with them is it's unregulated. Actually, there's no PSV for Bodaboda. There's no like a PSV insurance for Bodaboda guy. It's just the normal insurance, which is we don't know if it works or it doesn't work. But there are some genuine insurance who insure the motorbikes. And with that now, introduction of everything, insurance and everything, and because it's unregulated is not regulated by the government, because you cannot regulate a person, individual. Now it brought a lot of conflict. I say there was a lot of accident during those times, and during those times it also comes with other bad things, which is now it brings crime. It came with a lot of crime. Now it was actually before those times it was used for the Bodaboda industry was associated actually for crimes. It was actually because they used to, okay, before that, after the accidents, people used to, because there were a lot of now Bodaboda people who were not registered, they used to buy just motorbike for the sake. So they used to, when they get involved in accident and they don't have an insurance, they used to run away. And I think there's a time when we had a countrywide crackdown. It's because they accused the Bodaboda people for raping a woman. I don't know if it was a woman. Actually, someone hit the car and they ganged up to to harass a woman, and it was very bad. And that woman was the lady was actually from a big organization, and it was very chaotic because they had we had a nationwide crackdown of Bodabodas, and it did end up well. But since then up to now, now that we are here, that was around 4 years ago to 3 years ago. From that then up to now, I think the discipline has come back. But you see, before that, it was very chaotic, and they used to steal a lot of. They used to use Bodaboda to steal, to smuggle people, to do a lot of things which were bad, and they were framed as nobody liked Bodaboda. But looking at it, Bodaboda has a lot of advantage than the disadvantages, because I think it's feeding more than 1 million. It's only a small portion of guys who are doing crime with it, which is around 1%, which is around very little, because it's very rare. But you see, if one person anaweza amua kuspoilia watu wa Nduthi, anaweza spoilia watu wa Nduthi vibaya sana. So hiyo ndio ilichangia watu wakakuwa na crackdown. So but Bodaboda iko na economic impact. A lot of Bodaboda guys, they're feeding their family with the Bodaboda. It's their daily, actually daily. Hiyo ndio chakula, hiyo ndio kila kitu, na hiyo kwa sababu finding employment in this country is very hard. This is our third world country, and finding employment is actually formal employment or informal employment is very hard. Before watu walikuwa wanaenda mjengo, we used to think mjengo ndio kazi iko better. So ulikuwa unamaliza shule unaambiwa wewe utaenda tu mjengo, ulikuwa unatishiwa na mjengo. So and mjengo was very, very, very difficult. I remember one day, let me tell you this story. I remember one day, you see, I knew nilijua kuendesha Nduthi around 2013. Na kujua kuendesha Nduthi, I didn't at that time I had a license. Niliendanga driving school, I had a license for ya gari tu. But nilijua kuendesha Nduthi ama motorbike through a friend of mine, motorbike yake. But I used to fear police. Nilikuwa naogopa police sana. So nilikuwa naendesha chini ya maji, naendesha Nduthi. Hivyo nika-build until nikajua kuendesha Nduthi. But I remember so kwa sababu ilikuwa ni Nduthi yake, na before nilikuwa nafanya kazi ya mjengo. Nilikuwa nafanya kazi ya kinyozi. Then kazi ya kinyozi ikaisha. I was a baba. Ni baba shop ama baba. Nilikuwa baba kinyozi. So vile job ya kinyozi iliisha, I didn't have an option but to do what? Kwenda mjengo. So I remember going to mjengo, and because hiyo time nilikuwa with a very small body. Nilikuwa kamse kadogo kapienga. Nilikuwa na struggle sana kwenda kubeba hizo simiti. And I remember kuna siku moja foreman aliniita akaniambia, I think siwezi andika kwa sababu it's like hiyo job inanishinda. And that was my last hope. That was my last hope. Kabisa. I didn't know what I will do next. So I would have done next. Singejua kitu nafanya next. Kwa sababu nilikuwa nimeintroduce kwa mjengo na mabeshe zangu, na nilikuwa nimeona nita grow ni make impact through mjengo. But unfortunately foreman akanifukuza job after nimeenda jobs kama 2 ama 3. And I spent around 2 months, but nikafukuzwa. I ended up, so hapo ndo niliquit Bodaboda. So nikaenda kwa supermarket attendant. Na it was very hard to be a supermarket. It was the same thing as just mjengo. Umeelewa? Kwa sababu bado ulikuwa unabeba unabeba unga 3 kwa shoulder. So unabeba bado lita 20, uwezi beba moja. Unabeba lita 20 za mtungi, unapandisha stairs kwa store. The same sukari, the same na sabuni, na zimekuja na trailer. So I used to do that job. So nikafanya hizo job for around 2 weeks, then nika quit because it was the same as mjengo. So and when I went back home, I didn't know what to do kwa sababu I'd drop out, and nilikuwa nimedrop college, na nilikuwa nimedrop college kwa sababu ya financial. One thing was financially, I was financing myself that time, and I didn't have anybody because the organization which was sponsoring me that time wanted me to do catering and hospitality, and I thought this is not my thing. Hospitality and catering is not my thing kabisa. So nilikwenda kufanya kitu nyeko huku nje na nituma huku nje. So nikaingia, nilikuwa college, nilikuwa nafanya civil and building engineering. So nika drop out because of school fees and everything. So ndo nilienda kufanya hizo jobs. Kwenda kufanya hizo job zilienda kuwa ni too heavy for me because ya health yangu kwanza, ilikuwa health yangu. The next thing ilikuwa ni because of also financials. So after hapo, the only thing that I could learn and do it well was the Bodaboda business, and that's where I landed, and I've been doing it for the past 4 or 5 years, and it's been good. Actually, it's been one of the best thing I've ever done, except kuna hizi vitu, there's these challenges na kuanga here and there, but economically and actually about everything, it has created a lot of jobs. I know there's a lot of people out there who do that. They are very qualified. They have their degrees, they have their PhDs, they have good. I've met I think one day I met a surveyor who has gone to a college, done a degree, but he was doing survey part-time, but he was operating a bodaboda every single day unless he's called by someone, and he was doing very well. And he told me, akaniambia bodaboda imemsaidia sana kustabilize life yake, kwa sababu akipata job nyingine, akipata hiyo job, kwa sababu hiyo job zinakuwa kujenga na contract, badala ya kukaa idle the whole week, wacha tafute kitu ya kufanya, afanyange na hii. So bodaboda inamsaidianga ku cover now the gaps that are left when sometimes the surveying job is not paying. So that's where bodaboda comes in. And also I've also met a lot of other people who are also doing the same in the industry. So condemning them and saying bodabodas are not learned or they are very filthy, it's very bad. When watu wachafu, mimi nataka kuwapea, unasemanga ni watu wachafu actually. And I want to explain to you this scenario. Umse amenunua leather jacket, si ndio? Amenunua leather jacket ya ama akona jacket kwa sababu ana pesa, kwa sababu leather jacket is around 5,000. And 5,000 plus trouser ni 5,000 plus helmet pia, it comes around 15,000. Akwa mtu akona hiyo do, yote akona hiyo do ya kuonyesha anaweza nunua hizo vitu abrupt, na sasa hiyo nduthi inapeana na loan na 20,000. Si afadhali anunue nduthi kwanza, alafu hizo vitu zingine atanunua pole pole. So unapata watu wengi wakishaingia kwa busy ya nduthi, mtu anafanya nini? Ananunua ma jackets za kujiziba baridi na helmet. That's the most important, but the rest gears ananuanga pole pole. So unapata at the end of the day, sawa, unajua wewe ununua masweta tena nyingi, kwa sababu you see bodaboda hakuna mali imetukava, hakuna kitu imekukava, it's just your body and the wind and the dust. Nothing is just there's no windscreen, there's nothing. So kama umeenda kwa vumbi, utapigwa tu na hiyo vumbi. Ukienda kwa mpresi huu, mvua ikinyesha, utapigwa na hiyo mvua. So unapatanga most of the bodabodas, people say they are dirty. I know there are some who don't shower per se, but I think most people shower and they use and they are actually clean, apart from maybe their jackets. Their jackets ndio maybe ziko na dirt, na ni kwa sababu anaenda maybe kama place kama Kitengela. Anaenda place kama Kitengela, pana na vumbi huko. Sasa tunaenda ocean, unaweza pata anaenda kuosha na jacket unaweza itakuwa tu haita make sense, aende oshe jacket ndio ingie job tena. Naona akienda kuosha jacket itachukua long time before ikauke, na unaelewa. So before ikauke, afadhali afanye nini? Avae tu, kwa sababu ndani ya kumsafi na the rest ingine ni ya juu. Even wewe hata mtu wa bodaboda ukiwa na upepo how do even hata wewe unanukianga aje? Kwa sababu upepo, I think when ukipanda hapo nyuma ukianza kuenda upepo inakupiga. So I don't think hata it's necessary hata kusema ati mse ananuka unless amekupea hug, unless you are intimate ama something. But watu wengine wamechukulia ni kama watu wa bodaboda waogi wafanye nini. But in other things imeandika wase wengi actually it has also, it supports actually 6 million individual indirectly livelihoods. Kuko na 1.3 million wenye ina support directly, na kuko na 6 million Kenyans yenye ina support indirectly. So imagine, that's around 10% of the economic population. It's 10% of the population. Imagine 10% of the population in earn through Bodaboda. So it's not something we can say we can just ignore the same way Alwale was trying to do and the MPs they're trying to do. I think it's something they should come up with a structure, come up with a good structure so that it can continue feeding more people and more people. And as I said on my previous video, what needs to improve is actually the infrastructure, which are the roads and hizo trainings za watu at least kujua, na actually government should put at least licenses za bodaboda zikuwe na insurance zikuwe cheaper so that people can benefit from them kuliko kuziweka too high. So unapata watu wanaanza kufanya illegal business because hawezi afford insurance, hawezi afford kununua maybe hizo vitu zenye government imeweka into place. So government pia inafaa to look into that space na it try. So I did also a video on this channel, and I think back in 2018, 2020 during Corona, yes. And I did an interview with a young guy, and he was saying actually he earns 1,000 per day, which translates to around 30,000 per month, which is a very, very good money for a starter. If you are living just a normal life, that's a very, very good money. So for me, that's for it for today. And if you want to join this Bodaboda industry, you can go back to, you can just look on this channel. I'll be sharing more about how you can also take loans from my YouTube channel. I also leave links on my description below on how the next video on how you can get loans, on how you can, because I already have done how you can just ride a motorbike, how to learn a motorbike, because it's very easy. It's very easy to learn a motorbike, and you need also to look at your safety. Safety comes first, and I shall be doing this in the next videos. So stay tuned and don't forget to hit that subscribe button below. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button below. And thank you so much for your time. Thank you for listening to me. You're a great person. Thank you, and see you on the next video. Bye.